thinking of heading off on the bike in the next day or so for an overnight, maybe two, in the tent. So I thought I'd just take this opportunity to show what I pack for an overnight motorbike camping trip in Tassie. So I'll show you what the thing looks like packed, and I'll pull it all apart and you can see where things go in my case. So at this point I've pretty much got everything packed except for clothes, and I don't take much clothes, just a few minor things, and food's not in yet, but I'll show you what the space looks like as it is at the moment. So I have a fuel bag on the back, which I may or may not take depending on how many Ks I think I'm going to be doing. Anything up to 300k I'm fine, or 350k even, but if I think I'm going to go over that, I'll take a fuel bag. And I'll strap the top of the fuel bag down to the back of the carrier rack just to hold it in place. And I haven't clipped it in yet, but I'll strap the bottom of the fuel bag to these carabiners, or possibly around that strap on the Mosco bag. And this fuel bag holds 6 litres, but I'll probably put 4 or 5 in. I don't normally fill it right up. On the rear rack I've got a Mosco bag. I run the straps of the Mosco bag around a couple of carabiners at the front, and at the rear, just underneath the carrier rack rail. And the top of the bag has got this plastic cover, which I just use to hold things down. Under that I have a tarp and the tent poles. So the tarp and the tent poles are there because the tent poles are too long to fit in the Mosco bag. And the tarp is there to put the tent on, just so it gives the bottom of the tent a bit of protection against sharp sticks and things, and gives you somewhere to dry to put the tent down. And I've got tent poles for a Mont tent. It's like a 2-man tent, but really with me in there, the mattress, and then helmet and bike pants, and riding gear that you take off, there's not a real lot of space left. So it's a good sized tent for me, but call it a 2-man tent, but it's really a 1-man tent, I think. Mosco bag clicks down on each side, and I'll just undo them. And you can roll it down 2 or 3 rolls. Now inside here I've got a small Cedar Summit, I think it's called, Cedar Summit pillow. So it's very tiny, but it blows up to a decent sized pillow. And I've got the Mont, it's a Moon Dance 2-person 3 to 4 season lightweight freestanding tent. So it's pretty light. It's a good tent, I like it. I've got a Cedar Summit mattress. It's kind of like little air cells when you blow it up, and I find it really comfortable. I can sleep well on that. It takes out all of the hardness of the ground, not like the old days when you used to sleep on about a 1/4 inch of foam. This thing's great, and those two lie together. Those two lie together in the top of this Mosco bag. Now I've got something here which is kind of optional, but I take it. If you're younger, you might not need it. It's a Denali chair. So it's aluminium legs and a sort of a canvas back, and that just gives you a bit of comfort when you're out in the bush having a meal or something. You've got somewhere to sit. In the bottom of the bag I've still got some other things. I've got it's a Revit rain jacket, like an over jacket, put on over your riding gear, so I've got that. And I've got the pegs for the tent, they're tiny, and I've got a sleeping bag, and I've got that's it, Kathmandu, Columbus, 2 degrees to minus 3 degrees. Anyway, it's pretty good zipped up. I've found it quite warm. If it's a warm night, you can unzip it and just fold it over you without actually climbing in the thing, so it's flexible like that. And I've used it in a range of different weather, always found it great. Squishes up pretty small. So, the sleeping bag. Also got some just cheap old wet weather plastic pants. So all of these things, apart from the tarp, fit inside the Mosco bag. So there's the Mosco bag, Mosco Moto. Now, as I've shown in another video, I've got Enduristan Blizzard size large soft pannier bags, and in the right hand one I typically carry the tools. So in here the tools are in the bottom, and there's a whole heap of space in here for clothing. I've got no clothing in here, but you know, I only take a spare pair of socks and jocks and not much else, just for 1 or 2 nights away, so a lot of space. But in the bottom I've got a toolkit that previously shown. I've got puncture repair kit, and I've got a little electric pump for blowing up a tyre, and that's it. So those 3 things and some clothes go in this side pannier. In the other side, right now I've got some items. I've got a water bottle, chain wax. I'm always a bit reluctant to put chain wax in the bag, but if you're careful in how you store it, I think it's okay. I've got some just gloves if I have to change a tyre or something. I just wear those gloves. Screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver. I should really get a small one. Got one of these plastic plate sets. So there's like a big dish, a bowl, a cup, kind of like a plastic knife, fork, spoon, and I'll take a sharp pocket knife as well. Now that's probably slightly overkill. You probably don't need all those things. So if you press for space, you could cut that down and probably do away with the big bowl, or do away with some of those knife fork things. I've got some rim protectors if I had to change a tyre, and again they're probably not 100% essential, but I take them, they don't take much space. I take a Jetboil, so I'll show you how I pack this. The Jetboil, you could probably do with that and not even worry about any plates. So in the Jetboil, on the top I put this little stand, a little attachment which is for pots and things, which I don't use much, but I'll leave it there to hold things steady. Inside I've got one of the smaller size gas cylinder, and that's kind of like my spare one. So if the main cylinder runs out, I've got this as a backup, and it fits in right on top of the other stuff. So under the Jetboil gas, I've got this little stability stand that clicks onto the bottom of the gas cylinders. The small one will fit on, or the big ones. And then the burner itself that you screw onto the gas cylinder, and then you're left with the Jetboil pot. So if space was really an issue, you'd probably just take this and not worry about any plates and just eat out of that. On the bottom of this green plastic thing screws off, and it's a cup or a bowl or a dish, whatever you want it to be. So all of these things fit inside that Jetboil, and the Jetboil is very efficient with gas. It heats up very quickly. So in this side pannier, I've got some other stuff. I'll fish it out. So this is the cylinder I'd use. So I'd take one of these, and I'm usually taking one that's kind of half empty because it's been on other trips. And I'll just take one of these, and when it runs out, I'll switch over to the small emergency one. And for the next trip, I'll take a full one. I'll take a Leatherman, which is in a different packet, but I'll take a Leatherman, and they're handy because you've got a knife, you've got pliers, you've got other tools on there which can be useful. It's a combination toolkit all in one, so Leatherman's handy. I've got some tyre levers that I've shown on a previous video. So the black ones are tyre levers and bead breakers, and there's just a regular tyre lever, and I'll just tape them up together. I also take a long tyre lever. Some tyres can be really hard to put on with a short lever, so I'll take this long lever. It's I just cable tie it onto the frame, kind of along where the rear rack goes, protrudes a bit near the seat, and the soft panniers, the Enduristan pannier, just sits over the top of that. You wouldn't even know it was there. Now, being an older fella, I take some ibuprofen and Panadol, and that looks after the aches and pains that I invariably get while I'm out riding. I guess you can guess what that is. Emergency toilet paper. I take a little container with some matches in it. So I'll just take the lid off. So I've just got a couple of packets of matches in this waterproof container. So sometimes the Jetboil spark doesn't want to work, or you might want to match flame for some other reason. So I take some matches inside a little, it's really an old Ovaltine container. I've used that for years bushwalking. So that's my go-to container for some dry matches. Wait, there's more. So I've also got some sunblock, which is pretty essential in Tassie or anywhere in summer. I've got a spare rear tube and a spare front tube and a can of motul tyre repair, which I've also mentioned previously, which is handy if you get a flat. So that's, oh, what else is down here? And some insect repellent, Aerogard or something like that. So for phone charging, I've just got a charger on the bike and a USB-C cable there, and a quad lock mount for the phone here. Out the bush, you should always take some form of communication for places where there's no reception, and I use the Spot. I'll take a couple of spare plastic bags, one for dirty clothes or wet clothes, one for rubbish, because I always take the rubbish out away with me and never leave it in the bush. I'll take a spare cam lock strap, take a few cable ties. This is not essential, but it's optional, I guess. There's some kind of combo lock that you can lock your helmet to the bike. This is handy. It's just a hat, but it's got little LED lights in it. So that's handy. Just wear that at night, and you don't need to take a torch. I'll just take that. So on the food front, for one day I'd take one of these. For 2 days I'll take 2 of these. Take some noodles, 1 or 2 packets, just a bit of powdered milk, I don't need much, a couple of muesli bars, some coffee in tea bags, in a plastic bag, some nuts and or chocolate, probably 1 or 2 packets of oats for breakfast. You could take some fruit in a little bowl like that, or take an apple, and some water, and that's about it. That's all I'd take for a couple of days away. Something that's useful to take is like a battery pack. So I've got this Signet one with about 20,000 milliamp hours. So that can be used to charge the GoPro like it's doing right now, or charge your phone, although the phone is pretty much charged by being connected to the charger on the bike while I'm riding. But anyway, something like this is an option. Either that or take lots of extra batteries. So there you have it. That's what I take when I go camping on the bike. There might be a few little adjustments here and there from time to time, but they're the main items that I'd take. So if you found this useful and you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.